Okay, here we go. Yeah, TikTok is not getting banned. Within the past few days, there's already been talk of pushing back the appeal dates to about 270 days, and then even going back further than that. There's been a few senators coming out recently and talking about what exactly they want to do with it. And out of clear spite to the American government, there has been a large majority of Gen Z who is one of the most conscientious generations I've ever seen, right? And I'm a part of Gen Z, and when I say that, but as somebody who is materially aware of a lot of history, and history isn't really my strong suit when it comes to theory and broader overall or really specific places, but more broader senses of things, right? Um, so whenever I say that Gen Z definitely has a lot more class consciousness than other generations, I mean that. I really do. Like, what other generation would see all of the stuff happening on TikTok and then hear that it was going to get banned? And then instead of moving to some place that was native for them, like Instagram or something owned by Meta, or going to Twitter or Blue Sky or the like, right? Makes sense given all the stuff that's happening with Twitter or X or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But instead, move to a Chinese app named Redbook or Xiaohongshu, which name comes from Chairman Mao Zedong's Little Red Book, a app that is named after communist theory from a communist leader and thinker. That's where they go? That is scaring the fucking shit out of the US government right now. That is scaring them so bad. They wanted ByteDance to sell out. They wanted them to sell something to the US government or to a larger corporation that has ends into the US government so that they can also then benefit from the purchasing, so that they can then control the narrative on things like Gaza and Israel, and then a bunch of other things as well. But here we are, Gen Z, instead of moving to a place that's native for English speakers and has a lot of liberal leanings or even conservative leanings, right? They go balls to the wall. They're like, you know what, class consciousness? Fuck yeah. Let's go to the communist thing, right? That is the most interesting thing I can think of when it comes to this whole situation. I do have my own reservations about it. Not Red Note, but specifically how many people are coming over and are being exposed to certain things. I am very, very happy with the fact that this app has quickly radicalized people. It has been 3 days, but there's already people learning Mandarin, right? There's people who are already being exposed to things like Mao. They're already being exposed to things like Lenin and Marx, and are already people who were left leaning, but maybe had some internalized liberalism that they had to deal with, but are now being exposed to these ideas. But it's not being exposed to them in the most educational ways possible. It's still positive, but to prevent a sudden surge of things like revisionism or misunderstandings, or even potentially them learning certain things and misunderstanding them, they instead should be properly taught. And Red Note, Red Book is not the best place for that. I've seen plenty of people talking about how lucky they are to find comrades that are speaking so candidly about socialism and the like on the platform, which inspires me quite a lot, even with the history of Dingist reforms and the leaning of Confucianist culture within China and the like. Uh, and I'm very sorry if I vulgarized any of that, but I'm speaking very briefly and very overgeneralized. But to still see that there are people who are very staunchly anti-capitalist, even in so niche of categories whenever it comes to something like Redbook, right? Which also makes sense because the Communist Party of China has 90 million users. There's also the fact that President Xi is actively trying to socialize more of China. So seeing all of this and then seeing a mass immigration of people from TikTok over to Redbook, and now they're backpedaling to try and keep it so that they can try and get more people back, isn't going to work well either way. If people stop using RedNote, that experience is already there for them. They already know that the US government is not to be trusted. They already know that things cannot go their way. They are already being exposed. Big creators who I wouldn't really call like traditional leftists. I wouldn't even really call them like rad libs either, but are definitely class conscious or outwardly calling the US government fascists, right? And even if they don't know the full story or aren't as aware as they should be or educated, that is still an amazing thing to see. Huge amounts of people calling the US government what it is. And then they move to an app that has such a large population of Chinese people who are living the experience of a socialized China and then moving back to TikTok. Some of that's coming with them. Some of that is coming with them. And given the fact that ByteDance still won't have paid out or sold out, means that the US will not be able to control this narrative. They will continue to be able to experience the horrors of Gaza and Palestine and even be able to be more socialized within these radical ideas. And that is wonderful. That is fucking astounding to see. Like, I genuinely cannot have thought of a better way for an entire generation to not only have had seen the horrors of things like Gaza and then be introduced to anti-capitalism and anti-imperialism, and in a culture that is dominated by neoliberalism, where it prevents people from gaining class consciousness while giving them and actively stripping away said concessions to make them complacent. Suddenly, the one concession that they had was too big of a move, and now they took a fucking nosedive into the red pool. Bravo. Bravo. What a wonderful gambit. Absolutely wonderful. Like, that is awesome. That is absolutely amazing. Uh, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I have spent a lot of time on Redbook, right? I've had Redbook before it was like a trend because I needed it for like art tutorials, right? I thought it was awesome. And then I also saw some other stuff on there as well. But now, because there's a lot more English speakers on there and people are now starting to use a little bit more English, I've been seeing so much shit. It is a complete 180 from the localized zeitgeist that I had seen before, where I was kind of just like hiding in the crowd of people. Well, technically it'd be like this because of the standard height in China. Like just hiding amongst everybody as like standing out, just absolutely standing out. But I didn't make any content on there. And then we have this mass immigration over of TikTok refugees, and even people of like MAGA and conservatives are trying to come over, and they are being bashed immediately by Chinese users, American users, and like it is absolutely no holds bar. It is it is a wonderful thing to see. It really is. Ah, wow. Yes, you should use Red Note. And even if TikTok gets unbanned, I'm still going to stay on Red Note. I will definitely stick to using TikTok a lot more because I'm used to that setup and those features, and because it has my algorithm and everything like that. But I will continue to use Red Note because there's just so much good stuff on there that I cannot willingly just let go. I gotta keep seeing the fucking Chinese shit posters, dude. They're so fucking funny, right? They'll post a picture of Hitler and it'll say some of the most fucking crazy shit ever, and everyone else in the comments are making fun of them in Chinese. It is so funny, or Mandarin rather. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to support me, I have a Patreon down below. If you want to join the crew, hit the subscribe button. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.